Oh, what is up, my fellow gamers, and welcome to Armored Core 6. Now I know what you're thinking, and I agree, that is a weird way of spelling Dark Souls 4. But nevertheless, seeing as how I have played every single Souls game, including God Souls and Samurai Souls, why not give Robot Souls a try? Immediately I am greeted with the basic controls, and if my disorderly and drunken attempts at movement weren't obvious enough, this is in fact my first Armored Core game. No doubt whoever I bribed to give me my mech license most likely is fired. Or dead, as I probably ran him over the second I got on this robot. I haphazardly make my way to the first boss, the helicopter, aka the asylum demon of this game. Undoubtedly, I will have to fight a reskinned version of this boss at a later point in time, as is From Software tradition. Having beaten the first boss by skillfully and meticulously holding down the right trigger, we get our epic nickname, the Raven. I can't help but notice that we are seemingly going down on the nickname ladder. First we were the hunter, then the wolf, now the raven. What's next, the worm? Having now done a few missions, I'm starting to get used to the fighting and movement of this game. Now having taken down a Lost Walker from Star Wars, we get to Operation Wall Climber, where the game forces a summon on me. Typically, I am against all types of summoning, but here I am, forced to work together with Rusty in order to take down the next boss, the Juggernaut. Ah, I see we're starting this boss fight well. After all, nothing screams victory like a fatal concussion and head trauma. But worry not, as although I am thoroughly concussed, we managed to lower his health halfway. Which is of course when my summon decides that now would be a good time to make like all the females that I've talked to, and fucking leave! Oh yeah, no, that's fine. I'm sure I can clutch this. Having fought him again, this time it goes much better, as I did not get body slammed by a metal wall. Pair that with some well-timed rockets, and it is defeated, which just leaves us with the final mission of Chapter 1. Getting to the very end, we destroy this massive generator, which causes us to black out. I awakened promptly and in the dark, with only a red dot in the middle of my screen. This of course leads to my favorite From Software trope of them blatantly asking if I am getting laid.
Have we made contact?
No, we have not.
I am Air, a Rubiconian.
Great, now that I have given the voices in my head a name, I am that much closer to insanity. And one step closer to getting my ass beat unapologetically by Balteus, as this boss is pretty difficult. He comes prepped with shockwaves, a multitude of projectiles, a massive shield, and flame swords, all of which will be used to give us a complimentary colonoscopy. Gee, how thoughtful. After attempting him for an hour and not getting anywhere close, I decided to completely change my build, becoming an absolute tank. As I have now learned the true secret of Armored Core. Rather than relying on careful dodging and well-timed attacks, one should just brute force their way to victory. As now that I am impervious to taking damage, I can return the favor. But rather than giving him a free colonoscopy, I decided to bust out the old laser sword and give him a nice clean circumcision. He's a little nervous though, and does tend to run away from me. Mostly because he knows that my intentions aren't just to take a little off the top, if you catch my drift. Now that we have castrated Balteus, we can move on to the next chapter. Starting off, Chapter 2, we are met with one of gaming history's toughest bosses, Invincible Rummy. Ah, it seems that I have found the pinwheel of Armored Core 6. No matter, I'm sure the next boss will be more interesting. Or at least, it would be, if it actually worked. Unfortunately, seeing the brutal beatdown that I gave Invincible Rummy no doubt traumatized the smart cleaner. Either that, or I guess the only logical conclusion would be that it was simply too intimidated by the size of my massive genitals to even consider fighting me. With the broken Roomba out of the way, we are already at the final boss of Chapter 2. The coral weapon known as the Sea Spider stands in our way. And although it had an impactful entrance, am I really supposed to believe that it has enough power to defeat me? I don't see flaming swords on it, or shockwaves, or even a shield. Oh shit. It would seem that I have gravely underestimated this fight, but it's alright. I'm sure that with a few more tries I can... Oh my god, I am so close. This is the best that I've ever... God damn it! It's alright. I'm not really angry, yeah, it's all for show. On an unrelated note, who wants a full head of hair in their 20s anyway? Now being completely bald and having died for 2 hours straight. On top of the fact that I am continuing to hear voices proves my sanity is at an all-time low. But wait, there's more, as I am in complete and absolute fear for my life, as this boss seemingly has equipped a +10 max upgraded, fully ascended father's belt, as he is dealing some serious damage. Nevertheless, I am a full-blooded gamer, and I refuse to give up just because my skin looks like it's received the worst case of sunburn ever. That's right, kids. Perseverance, endurance, and a lot of luck is how I managed to defeat the sea spider. Easy. GG. Get f***ed. But my worries are not over yet, as I am greeted in Chapter 3 with a dual boss fight. That's right. 2 opponents with opposite styles, yet managing to work together in flawless harmony in order to cover each other's weaknesses. I've never seen anything like this before. Hate to disappoint you fellas, but this tank build is so damn OP that unless you two are coral weapons, I am not worried. Congratulations! You've stabbed me! Here, I'll tell you what my ex told me. Is it in yet? From here on out, I am thoroughly convinced that the game made a mistake letting me be this tanky so early on, as my next missions consisted of me absolutely slaughtering boss after boss with little to no remorse. I also found it particularly funny whenever the game would try and add a dramatic cutscene to add emphasis on how intense this upcoming boss would be, only for it to get absolutely bodied 5 seconds later. Nevertheless, we begin the final mission of Chapter 3, where we are disposed in the cold, uninhabitable Arctic to go destroy this mechanical abomination. As this is the game's gimmick fight, all we have to do is use the weapon we are given to stun the worm.
What? You didn't bring it?
Having remembered to equip the weapon this entire time, of course, we disable its shields and stun it for maximum damage, ending off Chapter 3 much like how I end my Friday nights, aggressively beating a massive worm until an explosion occurs. With the worm officially defeated, we can begin the 4th chapter. We do a regular bit of slaughtering innocent officials simply trying to do their job. That is until we are reunited face to face with Rusty, who is now assigned to kill us.
Figures. Seems both of us are too dangerous to keep around.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I've infiltrated bases, killed several high-ranking officials, and even destroyed multiple core weapons. And you are named Rusty.
Who needs you?
Your mother. Having now disposed of Rusty, we are then assigned to investigate a coral disturbance. But before we get there, I would like to collect this game's Moonlight Greatsword, which is safely tucked away in a chest underneath a bridge, guarded by robot wheel skeletons. Alright then, plan B. I rapidly raced through the lake, grabbed the Moonlight Greatsword, and tactically retreat like a pussy. With the Moonlight safely tucked away, all I have to do now is defeat the coral weapon, and it's mine. Fun fact, when they were designing Cell 240, they thought, hey, let's fuse a jet and the Hornet, and then let's make it do coke, as I have seen patients with Parkinson's stand still more than this thing. But after many, and I do mean many, attempts, we managed to destroy it. Oh, the sweet sigh of relief that escaped my body. The taste of victory. The joy that I felt quickly vanished as this absolute trash can decided to not just steal a page out of the Guardian Apes book, but rather write a fucking sequel to it. God damn it! Never before had a boss made me go through the 5 stages of grief in one video. But here we are, starting off with denial. That did not hit! In what world did that hit me? Anger. Bargaining. Dude, I will suck your dick. Just let me get past this. Depression. Maybe I'm just bad at video games. And of course, finally, acceptance. Son of a bitch. Yeah, I never did get that acceptance part. but I did manage to beat it by using 2 grenade launchers and 2 stun needles. The trick is to get as close as possible and pray that something hits in order to create a not permanent, but somewhat of a stun lock, ensuring our eventual victory. Having finally defeated both of Cell 240's soulless lives, we are propelled into the 5th and final chapter, where we are tasked with storming the city and destroying the generators in order to free Rubicon. Everything is going as planned, until we are faced with the Snail boss fight. Meet Snail. This special snowflake has the delightful tendency to call you a vermin whenever he gets the chance. On top of that, he also believes that everyone around him is an absolute and utter idiot. That's right, you guessed it, he is a psychology major, who apparently decided to fuse with Balteus. Last time we saw Balteus, we made him half the man he used to be. And now that he fused with Snail, he is 25% the man he used to be. Most everything said in this video is for entertainment and or comedic purposes. That being said, the hatred for Snail is very much real, as I would rather get kicked down a hole by Patches 100 times rather than having to listen to Snail explain how his dick is not in fact small, it is just severely below the statistical average. We shut that down as fast as humanly possible in order to save himself the embarrassment and us the headache. As with Snail defeated, we can make it to the final boss. The final boss of Armored Core 6 is none other than Walter. That's right, the guy that's been giving us missions this entire time is the final boss. Wow, I never would have seen it coming, as my jaw is undoubtedly on the floor with this never-before-seen twist that I am sure M. Night Shyamalan himself wrote. Walter comes with a variety of laser-themed attacks, energy blast, and projectiles. This would be fine if it weren't for the fact that he takes more damage than a tier 3 Twitch sub after finding out she has a boyfriend. And while he is no decrepit old man with a hard-on for fire, he's an alright final boss. Having now defeated Walter, we have officially beaten Armored Core 6. With that being said, I hope this video made you laugh, and may you all have a lovely day. Later!